I would never be late for the weather report because I lost all my stuff in the mistlands and had to get it back. Plus, it's Sunday. You're late. I'm not late. Guess who's getting peed on? East Coastlies and some of the Gulf as well. Lingering showers for the northeast Sunday with light wintry mix possible for the interior and those higher elevation areas. Dry and gusty conditions are going to lead to fire weather threat over portions of the southern high plains and increasing chances heading into the work week for the west coast ahead of the approaching Pacific system. Temperatures 69 up by Bellingham and Washington by the Canadian border. Nice. 70s for the rest of Washington and Oregon. 76-66 for NorCal. 87-73 for SoCal. Mountain States seeing a really similar mix of mid to high 60s and low 70s, pretty much from the Canadian border all the way down into the southwest. And then right on Arizona's border with Mexico and California, Nevada, that corner, we are seeing higher temperatures possible in the 90s and upwards. Plainsy Poos, we've got 40s and 50s for the Dakotas, but after that it transitions into the 70s, which continues all the way down to the tip of Texas at 74. Midwesties, we're cooler around the lake states with 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. 60s change to 70s by the time you hit Tennessee, and those 70s continue all the way down to the Gulf. New England in the 40s and 50s for the most part. Mid-Atlantic in the low 60s to the low 70s, just depending on where you're at. And most of the southeast in the high 60s and into the 70s, but we've got 87 at the shaft, 86 at the tip. Yes, I just like saying that. McMurdo Station on the Rossi in Antarctica sitting at -9 degrees Fahrenheit with no wind, so it feels like +1. Puerto Rico dealing with flooding and life-threatening rip currents today. That flooding is mainly during the afternoon over the interior western end of Puerto Rico, so use caution. Don't drive into flooded areas. Stay safe. And then for the rip currents, it's all along the northwest and east beaches, so stay near a lifeguard if you're going to go swimming, and that threat will continue for the rest of the weekend and into the work week as well. Daytime high temperatures, mid to high 80s for most areas, 75 for the interior, 80s out at the most of the islands except St. Croix at 82, and including the surrounding waters as well. Alaska, you are getting heavy precipitation possible, especially around the south central vicinity. As you can see above my big fat head, it is hitting and it is peeing, and sometimes that pee is frozen depending on where it's at. Daytime high temperatures for the last frontier, we've got -1 on the Arctic Circle, 10, 15, 25 as you come down into the middle of the state, it turns into the 30s, and then the bottom half of the state is firmly in the 40s, especially in the lower elevations, with 42, 40 for the Aleutians, 48, 41 near Anchorage, and 41 for the Panhandles. Hawaii, very happy to report there are no watches, warnings, or advisories at this time. Everything looks good for you guys. And the daytime high temperatures for the island chain in the mid 70s to the low 80s for most areas. All right, cut, print, wrap. I'm totally not late and you're totally not early. Let's have a good day. Mow your lawn or something, unless you're getting peed on. You'd help me recover my items in the mistlands, right? Okay, bye.